All right, everyone, we are back with Teddy's historic content list. We keep going through the comments. We're listening to you guys. We saw a bunch asking for the best chins in boxing history. So that's what we're going to give you this week. Teddy's best chins list in boxing history.
All right. Or like the old timers would call it, who's got the best set of whiskers? All right, let's go. Okay. First of all, I think we touched on it earlier, but we'll make a contest. You guys see if you agree, disagree, what your greatest list, and you get it out there so my son can see it. And at the end of the day, I will pick who I think out of you guys gave the best list, and then we will pick a winner. It'll be a contest, and then we'll get some kind of nice prize to you. All right.
With that being said, bud, do they have to use the same fighters that you're going to use?
No, not at all. But I'm gonna put mine out there. I got 12. That's not a huge list. It's a dozen. It's a dozen. I like dozen. I don't know. You go to the bakery. What do you get? You get a dozen. I didn't even do a baker's dozen. I did a dozen. All right. I'm not gonna list them in any order. They're all great. You're on my list. You're great. That's it. And the numbers, it's not only the numbers for my criterion, it's the level of punches and fighters that they fought to be on this list. It's not just that, I didn't get dropped in 40 fights. Who did you fight? Well, I fought the mailman. I fought the baker. I fought the dog catcher. I fought the milkman. Well, all right, you know what? I'm not that impressed. But if you fought during a time where you were fighting tough, good punches, great fighters, and you went a certain amount of time without getting dropped or only got dropped a few times and you never got knocked out, I'm impressed. And I'm impressed with this list. Here they are. Every one of these guys, wow. If their chin is any indicator of other abilities of them, as such as dependability, which a chin does tell you about dependability of a person. It does. These are the guys I would pick if I ever had to be in a foxhole. These are the ones I would pick. I don't even know where to start. Again, I'm not putting any number on it. I'm going to start with William Gorilla Jones. A lot of people don't know him. He was a middleweight, tremendous. 144 bouts. Off his feet, got dropped. You ready? 144 fights, fought everyone. He got dropped one time by a great, great fighter, middleweight champion Freddie Steele. All right, I'm going to go to a name that a lot of you know, the onion farmer, Carmen Basilio. On the floor one time in 79 fights. Do I have to remind you the kind of fighters he fought? No. Sugar Ray Robinson, one of the greatest punchers of all time, and one of the greatest fighters of all time. No, I don't have to tell you that. If I do, you should be one. If I have to tell you that, you know what? You're on the wrong channel. You got lost. You lost. Let me direct you. Come on. Come with me. Let me direct you down the hallway. You meant to go to that place, but you're in the wrong place. If I have to tell you that if you fought Sugar Ray Robinson 2 times like Basilio did amongst all the other great fighters of that era, and you only been dropped 1 time in 79 fights, you belong on this list. Here's another one. One of the great Cuban fighters. So many great Cuban fighters, too. Kid Gavilan. Dropped 3 times in 143 fights, and he fought Robinson. He fought Ike Williams, one of the great punchers, one of the great lightweight champions of all time. He fought Ralph Jones. He fought Bojack, the great Bojack, who could punch, who never stopped coming. Kid Gavilan. Here's another one. Wow. Panama Al Brown. Great bantamweight champion, was knocked down 1 time in 168 fights. Here's another one. Barney Ross. Not enough people know who Barney Ross was. He fought all the greats. All the greats. All of the greats during an era where they all fought each other. And there was a lot of great fighters in that era. He got dropped one time by the great. It had to be a great fighter. He got dropped one time. And these guys have never been knocked out, by the way. They got dropped, they got up. They went the distance. Sometimes they won the fight. Quite often they did. He got dropped one time by the great Jimmy McLaurin. Here's another one. You know this name. You know the movie. The Fame. You know, I mean, you might not know this great fighter if it wasn't for the movie. You know, the Raging Bull. Jake LaMotta. 106 fights. The Bronx Bull. Dropped one time. He fought Robinson 6 times. And he was not dropped in those fights. He got dropped one time. All right, here's one. Did I give? I might start repeating if I don't want to, because I'm just jumping around my page. I didn't do Pancho Villa yet, did I? No. 104 fights in the 1920s where there was so many, as I said earlier, great fighters, and they all fought each other. 104 fights for Pancho Villa, and he was never, I'll repeat it, never knocked down. All right, Muhammad Ali fought Frazier, fought Foreman, fought Shavers, fought Norton, fought Ron Lyle, fought Oscar Bonavita, fought Sonny Liston. Wow. I don't know. I mean, what a chin. I think he got dropped by Henry Cooper. He got dropped by Frazier. I think that was it. Even when he shouldn't have been in the ring, he was gone. He was sick. He had something wrong with him. His doctor, really hurt him. I mean, a completely incompetent doctor that was giving him medication for thyroid stuff to help him lose weight. Oh, my God. And he came back when he shouldn't have against Larry Holmes. And he took that horrific beating. Even there, he didn't get dropped. Talk about will. Talk about something inside that is special. Muhammad Ali, one of the great chins of all time. Billy Graham, the uncrowned champion from New York, the welterweight. 126 fights. How many times do you think he got dropped, bud? Take a guess.
Twice.
Never. Here's one of my favorites. Marvin Hagler. Only down one time in 67 fights. And it was not legitimate. It was against Juan Rodon. It was one of those fights where the referee screwed up. It was not legitimate. What a chin that man had. What a heart he had. Oh, my God. What a special fighter. All these guys, how special. Here's one from Canada. George Chuvalo. Fought Foreman, fought Frazier, fought Patterson. Patterson was a good puncher and hand speed, too. Fought Bonavina. Fought Cleveland Big Cat Williams, good puncher. Jerry Quarry, good puncher. 93 fights, George Chuvalo. I'll give you one more chance to get in our little contest here. How many times do you think he was dropped, bud?
0.
Yeah, you got it. Never dropped, buddy. All right, I think this is the last one. I think that's 11, unless I missed one. And here's going to be the last one. I'm just going to survey the landscape here and make sure I didn't miss anyone. I got one more. One of the greatest middleweights of all time. Carlos Monzon. 100 pro fights. He was knocked down 2 times. Of course, again, none of these guys ever knocked out. Most of them, they got dropped, they got up, they won the fight. And it was all against great fighters, their careers. Great fighters. Not good fighters. Great fighters. Great punches. I mean, it's like saying, who's the greatest mailman? Well, if you're the greatest mailman, but you're in Bel Air, I'm not saying I'm not gonna give you a high grade, Rich, and say, oh, he's the greatest mailman. You in Bel Air? You didn't. What dogs did you have to deal with that were the pit bulls that were coming at you, biting at you. And I would say what my son said about how many times Chevalo was knocked down. I'd say zero. Zero. Yeah, you didn't have to deal with none of that stuff as a mailman. How much bad weather did you have to deal with? With the hail, that old story, neither night of day, day of night, whatever the heck it is, and rain and sleet and snow will stop the mail from getting to you, the mailman from getting it to you. What bad weather do you have to deal with in Bel Air? No. So again, if I'm doing a contest of greatest mailman, I ain't taking a guy from freaking Bel Air. I'm looking for some tougher areas where they're tested a little bit. I did that with this list, where every one of these fighters were from tough areas in their careers. Every one of these fighters was tested in a real way. There it is, bud. Greatest chins in the history of boxing. You take it from there, bud. Put out the contest, put out the parameters, whatever.
Great list. Some really great names, obviously, on that list. Before we throw it out there for the comments and the contest, I just want to throw a couple out there for the more modern fighters, the fighters that stood out to me growing up. And the first one I'm going to throw out there, a lot of people probably haven't heard this guy, Marion Wilson. Now, I remember as a kid when Shannon Briggs, you were training, on his way up and climbing through the heavyweight rankings, he was one of the guys he had a fight on the way up, and he was the guy who fought everybody. Marion Wilson, 41 losses, never knocked out in his career. And he fought, to your criteria, everybody. Oliver McCall twice, Ike Iabuchi, Shannon Briggs, Hasim Rockman, Andrew Golota, could go on and on, Ray Mercer, and many, many great fighters. So he stood out immediately. The next one I would say is Oliver McCall. I know technically he has one KO loss, but that was against Lennox Lewis in the rematch where he had the emotional breakdown.
And he still didn't go down. He got hit while he was crying, having an emotional breakdown. The poor guy was in a drug rehab, training for that fight. Should never have been allowed to be in the ring. And he still didn't get dropped by a great right-hand puncher in Lennox Lewis. Wow. You're right.
Yeah, fought the who's who of everyone. And then the last two, I'll leave it with Canelo and Triple G. I don't think either one of them has been knocked down in their career. Both have had a ton of fights. Both have had a million title defenses fighting at the top level. So those were just a few that jumped out to me right away.
Okay, bud. we're gonna play cards here. I'm gonna see your straight, and I'm gonna raise you with my full house. And I don't know if mine's a full house and yours is a straight. Maybe yours is the full house. I think that was a great addition. I thank you for that. The fans will thank you for that. Marion Wilson, Oliver McCall, Canelo. Really, great addition. I agree with you. Every one of them. Now that you got my brain percolating a little bit in a more modern day, because, you got the wise guys that there. Who Teddy pick? A guy from the 1700s? Oh, yeah, he got it. No, I picked some guys from the 1920s, the 1930s, but the 1980s, and the 1990s, the 1960s, all different. I went all over the place, but here's one from the modern day as you did. And it just hit me because that, again, you just added to this list. You added really to the quality of this list by bringing those guys up and by just getting me to think a little bit. Here's one. It's gonna knock some people's socks off. It's gonna make some people's eyeballs go up. Good, but he belongs on the list. Some people, because they don't know, they just don't know. Because they think they know, because they're just gonna take for granted because of his image and because of his style of fighting that he wouldn't be on this list. But he had a great chin. Hector Macho Camacho. Wow, what a great chin. Yeah. I don't. Go ahead, go and say what you want to say. I'm ready for it because I'll back it up. What a great, and he fought great fighters and great punches. What a great chin. So I'm so glad, Bud, that you added those. Really, I think this was nice. I like it.
These lists are always fun. I hope the viewers enjoyed it as well. And let us know. As Teddy said, we're going to do a contest. We're going to do a giveaway. We're going to do a signed boxing glove by Teddy. We're going to do some more of these moving forward and switch up the prizes and the giveaways. But for this one, in the comment section, let us know. Like the video, but leave a comment. Leave your list. And Teddy is going to go through them, and he's going to choose the winner. And then next week when we do our next historic content list, Teddy will announce the winner on that airing. So with that being said, hope you all enjoyed it. Be with us again next week for more Teddy's historic content.